Marie. Welcome aboard my train of thought. So today's video is just something that I wanted to do because I wanted something a little easier for me because I haven't been in a very good mental place lately. Turns out that editing Sunday's video was harder for me than I thought it would be, and it doesn't help that I've been watching a Netflix show that is kind of sad. Expect a video on it as soon as I finish. But yeah, I just haven't had the best time lately, and I wanted to attempt to cheer myself up by ranking the songs of one of my favorite bands, 5 Seconds of Summer. So that's what we're doing today, and I hope this turns out okay because I don't have the mental energy to think of another thing. And before I start, let me just clarify that I won't be ranking all of FISO's songs. I will just be doing the ones on their studio released albums, including the deluxe edition and the B-sides, but I will not be including like the EPs or the singles and the songs that they release with the singles, because that would be just too much. And even though I love like If You Don't Know and Wrapped Around Your Finger, they're sadly not in this video because they're not in a studio album. So yeah, let me just begin. So the self-titled album was their first one, and it definitely sounds very different from the later ones, but I still love it. I've been a fan of FISO's since before they released this album. I think 2013, I'm not really sure. But like right before they released the album, I remember going to buy it and being all excited. So yeah, this album holds a lot of nostalgia for me, and it was really hard ranking the songs because it's not that I dislike any of them, you know. It was hard for me to choose the ones to put on the bottom, because the fact that a song is on the bottom doesn't mean that I don't like it or that it is a bad song. It just means that I don't like it as much as the other ones, or that I don't listen to it as often as the other ones, alright? And with that being said, the last place on the list is Don't Stop, because I listen to it when I work out. It's a really good workout song, but it's not like a song that I remember that often, and if it just comes out on shuffle on Spotify, I more often than not skip it if I'm not working out. Plus, if I ever do want to listen to it, I'll just play the music video because the music video is actually fun. Even if the music video doesn't really go with the song, it's fun. So yeah, I just don't listen to it that often. Next up on number 22 is Mrs. All American, and I was debating putting Mrs. All American at the bottom and Don't Stop in this place because they're the songs that I really don't listen to that much. But I think Mrs. All American is a little bit more fun than Don't Stop. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that I don't really listen to it. I mostly skip it whenever it comes up. On number 21 we have Independence Day, and yeah, this is just another song that I usually skip. It's fun, it's energetic, and the lyrics are not bad. It's just that I don't often feel like listening to it, and I actually often forget about it. This is like one of those songs that whenever it comes out, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a song that exists, but out of the top of my head, if you tell me Independence Day by FISO's, I'm like, oh yeah. It takes a little while for me to remember this song, I guess. On number 20, we have Don't Stop, the acoustic version. For some reason, I like the acoustic version more than the normal one, but I still don't like it enough to be like higher on the ranking. Next on number 19 is Social Casualty, another song that I kind of forget about usually. This one, I don't skip it when it comes up. Like the other ones, I more often than not skip them. But this one, I usually don't skip it, but I still don't remember it that often. On number 18 is Tomorrow Never Dies. And when the album came out, I really loved Tomorrow Never Dies. Tomorrow Never Dies and Never Be were like my two favorite songs, I think. But over the time, I just don't know, I skip it. And even though I loved it, in the beginning, it didn't feel right to put it higher in the ranking because like nowadays I usually skip it. And I don't think I have it on my like downloaded songs, which is weird because I have most of FISO songs downloaded. On number 17 is Kiss Me, Kiss Me. This is really fun. This is a very energetic song. I really like it. Like, I've listened to it and I can kind of like vibe with it when it comes up. But again, I usually forget about it. Sometimes at like random points in my life, I'll be like, I don't know, getting groceries or something, and the song will pop up in my head. But I still like only remember like the chorus, and whenever I listen to it, I remember all the lyrics and I can sing along to them. But I don't know why this isn't higher. It just isn't. There are songs that I like way better than this one, but it's still a good song. Next on number 16 is Never Be. And just like with Tomorrow Never Dies, this was one of my favorite songs when the album came out. But like over time, I just kind of forgot about it, and I don't replay it as much as I used to. This one I will not skip if it comes out on shuffle, but I will not go looking specifically for it to listen. Next on number 15, I have 18. And if I were making this video when I was like 17, this one would be like, I don't know, maybe top 6. Not top 5, like maybe number 6. But now it's still a fun song. I still love the ending, like the whole Drake and Yosh song vibes that Luke does with the boys. I really love it. But this one I skip more often than not because, well, now I don't wish I was 18. I do wish I was 18, but not in the same way that the song does. Like, I don't want to be older, I want to be younger. So like, I don't vibe with the song that much. It's just a reminder that I'm getting older, and I hate that reminder. Next on number 14 is English Love Affair. And for some reason in my mind, I conflate this song with Mrs. All American. Like, whenever I'm thinking of Mrs. All American, I'm thinking of it in comparison to English Love Affair, which is why it's lower on the list. Because English Love Affair is honestly the better, like, nationality-specific love story song in FISO's discography, I guess. Maybe I like it better because it doesn't include like the line, that minivan that you drive really gets me going. For some reason, that line, although I think it's hilarious, is what sinks Mrs. All American for me. And like English Love Affair has amazing lines that I still love, so it's higher. On number 13, I have Heartbreak Girl, and if it weren't because I really, really love some of the other songs that are higher, this one would be a lot higher. Like, I'm sorry, we're entering the tier of songs that I really, really, really love, but I couldn't put higher because I love other songs way more. So yeah, I really love Heartbreak Girl. I never skip it. Holds a lot of nostalgia for me because it was the second 5 Seconds of Summer song that I ever listened to. So yeah, it's one of the songs that really got me into the band, and I know that is the case for a lot of older 5 Seconds of Summer fans because it was one of their earliest songs. Like, you either knew them from the covers, like way earlier, or you knew them from this era, like Out of My Limit, Heartbreak Girl, Unpredictable. Unpredictable was my favorite song, and it really pains me to not include it in this ranking because it's not on a studio album. Or you met them with She Looks So Perfect. Like, those are the gateway songs into FISOs, like early FISOs. So yeah, Heartbreak Girl holds a big place in my heart, but I couldn't put it higher because I love other songs more. And speaking of gateway songs, we have on number 12, She Looks So Perfect. And I really love it. This was my favorite song to get dressed to when it came out. And it remained that way for like, I don't know, 2 years. Like, for a solid 2 years, this was the only song that I would listen to when I was getting ready. Well, this one and The Last American Girl by Green Day, because I loved hearing that one when I was doing my makeup. But yeah, this was like Chef's Kiss. I remember when the video came out and I was like so confused by all the people in their underwear dancing, but then the last second and they were about to pull their pants down and then they didn't, and I was like screaming in my classroom at 14 years old, and it was a whole experience. I love this song. On number 11 is Lost Boy, and this is a song that, again, I don't remember specifically, but whenever I get into like listening to older Faisos songs, I always remember this song and I always love listening to this song, and I also never skip it whenever it comes up. So yeah, I just really love it. Now on number 10 is Beside You, and this is another like early original Faisos, like from the Somewhere New EP song. And I don't know if you could tell from my last video, but I'm a sucker for sad songs. Both songs that sound sad or songs that don't really sound sad but have really sad lyrics. And Beside You just hits me. Like, this song and Wherever You Are were one of my favorite songs, like from early Faisos. And that was just because one of my lifelong dreams is leaving this country, and I like could imagine myself having a partner by the time I left the country and listening to Beside You and Wherever You Are as I left, and I said goodbye to them because we weren't doing the long distance thing. You know, when you imagine a whole music video in your head for a song, or like when you listen to a song and imagine your life is a music video, this was that song for me, like that specific song. Then on number 9, we have Green Light, because we love a consent song. And like, yeah, I don't know, I just love that song, it's so fun. And this one is actually one of the songs that I'll go, oh, remember Green Light? Let me just go listen to it. Without it coming up on shuffle, I just feel like listening to it sometimes. Actually, we're entering that territory of the songs that I actively go looking for to listen to, because I love them so much. And let me just point out that my top 10 favorite songs from this album all move around places regularly. Like sometimes Beside You will be on number 10, but then it'll move out to, I don't know, number 5. And just don't take it as set in stone, except for number 1. Number 1 hasn't changed since the first time I listened to the album. I know I said Never Be and Tomorrow Never Dies used to be like my favorite songs from the album, but I specifically excluded the number 1 song from that because I want it to be a surprise for when I get there. But yeah, my number 1 favorite song from Self-Titled hasn't changed, and let me just continue so I can get to that. Now on number 8 is Amnesia. And this is one of the songs that regularly move around. Like right now it's in number 8 because it causes me too much emotional distress. Like, it's one of my most listened to songs at the moment, but it's still one of the songs that breaks my heart the most, so I couldn't put it higher because the other songs bring me joy. So this one is at number 8 because it makes me too sad. But it will usually move around, and it will sometimes be even at number 2. So right now it's at number 8, but it'll move around, I'm sure. Now on number 7, we have Good Girls. And when this song came out, well, when the album came out, I was convinced that this song was about me. And like, I'm not really a bad girl that hasn't been caught, but like, I felt like I was, because I was a teenager. And even though I wasn't doing that many like bad things, I wasn't even doing bad things. But I identified with being the good girl and being like the one that gets good grades and that wants to go to Harvard and all of that. And I dreamt of having my dark side, of being sneaky and being bad and not being caught. So even though I wasn't, like, I vibed with this song. This was my song. Now on number 6 is Voodoo Doll, and I just find it fun. I love it. I suck at explaining why I like songs, so yeah, just Voodoo Doll is number 6. It can sometimes vary. Voodoo Doll usually comes lower. Like, if Voodoo Doll changes places, it'll go lower than the number 6, not usually higher. But it's still in my top 10, always. Now on number 5, I have End Up Here, and I don't know, I really like this song. I really like songs about hooking up with strangers and then getting into a relationship with them, because that's something that I've never understood. I don't think I ever will do. So I'm fascinated by these songs. And the first time I listened to this, I was way too young to even like go to parties or anything like that. So I was like, yeah, when I'm older, I'm gonna go to a party and I'm gonna meet a guy and this is going to be our song. And yeah, now I'm 21 and it hasn't happened, but it's still a fun song and I still love it. And on number 4, we have Close as Strangers, because it also breaks my heart. But yeah, number 4 and number 3 are songs that break my heart and that probably shouldn't be as high as they are considering my situation. But like, I don't know, I still love them. I can't put them lower. So yeah, number 4 is Close as Strangers, and number 3 is Everything I Didn't Say. And I will not go too deep into explaining why they're here or what they're about, because it'll break my heart and I will get into the Sunday's video mood all over again. So no, I'm sorry. Moving on to number 2, the first Five-So song that I've ever listened to, which is why it's so like high up here, because it has a lot of nostalgia and I love it, and I still listen to it when I get ready, just like with She Looks So Perfect, and I love to listen to it whenever I wear red lipstick, and that is Out of My Limit. I've got that red lipstick on and those high heel stilettos, even though I've never worn high heel stilettos in my life, but I love this song. I love it. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. And like, yeah. Now, my number 1 absolute favorite song from Self-Titled, well, 5 Seconds of Summer. And this was like my second favorite 5 Seconds of Summer overall song for so many years, because my first favorite is Unpredictable and that still stands. And this was my second favorite until the album Youngblood came out, and then it had competition. But it's still one of my absolute favorite songs. It's the one that I listen to the most whenever I revisit all Five-So songs. And even if I don't feel like revisiting all Five-So songs, this is like my favorite song to go back to. And that is Long Way Home. And I don't know if there are Long Way Home haters out there, but you're wrong. Like, there's something wrong with your life. When I first listened to this album, I couldn't drive yet, but I longed to be able to drive, because I loved that idea of just driving around aimlessly with someone and listening to this song. And then when I was finally able to drive, my car doesn't have like a Bluetooth connection or anything, so it just has radio or CDs. Luckily, I had the Five-So CD, so what did I do all day? I listened to Long Way Home on repeat every time I was driving for like a year. And I'm still missing the experience of actually listening to it with like someone by my side while we take the long way home, but hopefully soon. That's something that I still want to do. So yeah, now I'm just gonna put like on the screen the complete ranking list from bottom to top, like from my least liked to my most liked. And yeah, only remember that just because a song is at the bottom of the ranking doesn't mean that I don't like it. It just means that I don't listen to it as often as the other songs. And yeah, this is it. Moving on. Now, for Sounds Good, Feels Good. I had a hard time ranking these songs, but not in the same way that I had a hard time ranking the other album's songs. On those albums, I was like, oh, I liked all of these songs too much to put some of them at the bottom. And on this one, I'm like, I don't even listen to these songs as often. Like, this album is the least revisited for me, because for some reason I don't like it as much. I just don't re-listen to these songs that often, and I mostly skip them. Like, all of them. There's not one song in this list that I actively go looking for. the ones at the top are just the songs that I don't skip as much. And I feel sorry for saying that because like it's not a bad album. It's just not as good as the other three. Now, again, starting from the bottom, on number 17, I have Hey Everybody. And I don't know, I don't like it. I know it's trying to be like early pop punk band, you know, like Good Charlotte, or I don't know. But I just don't think it cuts it. I kind of like the video, but it's still not the best 5 Sauce video I've seen, so no. And next on number 16, I have Permanent Vacation. And actually, this is one of the songs from this album that I do listen to occasionally because it's on my workout playlist. So whenever I'm working out, I don't feel like skipping songs, so I don't skip this one that often. But like I like the lyrics and I like the instrumentals, but I just don't listen to it that often. I don't know. And on number 15, I have Money. And like, this one I like better than Hey Everybody and Permanent Vacation. That's why it's here, but I still don't like it as much to re-listen to it. Like, these 3 are the 3 5 Sauce songs that I don't have downloaded. And I feel really bad about it. Actually, I don't really have many songs from Sounds Good Feels Good downloaded. Now, on number 14 is Safety Pin. And I've said that I'm a sad person. I love listening to sad songs. But I don't like Safety Pin. I don't know. Like, I love the imagery of safety pinning your broken heart back together. But for some reason, I don't like the song. Like, I don't dislike it. I can still listen to it. I don't skip it that much. No, I actually do skip it. And it's not... It didn't even cut it into my sad playlist. So, yeah, no. Then on number 12, I have Broken Home. And this one just gives me like very Simple Plan vibes. And it's a kind of heavy song. It's a song that I probably should like, but I don't. I'm sorry. Even though it's sad, I don't know. Now on number 11, I have Airplanes. And I hadn't listened to this song, I think, since, I don't know, maybe a year, 2 years. Like, maybe since the album came out. But the other day, I was, like, revisiting 5 Sauce songs because I was in a bad mental place and 5 Sauce cheers me up. And this song came up. And I was like, oh, this one exists and I like it. So yeah, it's lower on the list because I don't listen to it that often, but it's higher than the ones I listen to more because I like this one more than all of those others. Then on number 10, I have Outer Space / Carry On, and this one is just dragged down by Carry On. Well, no, I like both of these songs separately, but the fact that they're meshed together into one song just makes me not want to listen to it that often. Now, on number 9 is She's Kinda Hot. And I liked this one. I like the song. I like the music video. I don't like it that much because it just feels like it was kind of attempting to repeat She Looks So Perfect. And like, if this song was just on the album without being a single, without being the lead single, I wouldn't have felt like it was repeating She Looks So Perfect. But because it was the lead single and it was the first music video that came out, I don't know, it just felt like, oh, She Looks So Perfect worked, let's do it again. And yeah, this one's good. The lyrics don't really mirror She Looks So Perfect that much, but I still felt like it was too close, maybe of a title, maybe just the title. So it's not higher because of that, but I still love this one. And it's still one of my most re-listened to songs in Sounds Good Feels Good, which is not saying much because I still don't listen to these songs that often, but yeah. Now on number 8 is Castaway, and just like with Airplanes, this is a song that I kind of forgot about, but then as I was revisiting 5 Sauce, I listened to it and I realized that I kind of like it. It gives me the same Outer Space vibes, but since this one doesn't have the carry-on attached to it, it's higher. Now on number 7 is San Francisco. And I think all of my top 7, 8 songs are going to be the sadder kind of ones. And that's just because, I don't know, as I said, I like sad songs better than energetic songs. And since there aren't that many songs that I like in Sounds Good, Feels Good, the sad songs just break the top for me. So yeah, since these are all sad songs, I'm not going to explain why they're here because I don't want to get sad. I'm just gonna name them. So, number 7, San Francisco. I'm a sucker for remembering and going back to good moments in life. So yeah, San Francisco. Number 6 is Invisible. And like, yeah, this one is on my sad playlist and I cry whenever it comes up. Number 5 is The Girl Who Cried Wolf. And what can I say? Number 4 is Catch Fire. And number 3 is Fly Away. And this one is the least sad out of my top 7. But I love the idea of flying away and getting away from life. I'm sorry. Number 2 is Waste the Night. I love this song. This is one of the only Sounds Good, Feels Good songs that I can actually say that I love. And number 1 is Vapor. And that is my most re-listened to song in this album. And yeah, I just had the hardest time ranking this album because the songs that I liked the most were the sad ones. And there wasn't even like an energetic sad song that I could like. And yeah, no, Sounds Good, Feels Good doesn't cut it for me. But still, here's like the overall list. And even though this one was my least liked album, it still doesn't mean that Hey Everybody isn't a better song than many other songs. Like, I still like Hey Everybody better than I like a lot of other songs in general. Yeah, moving on. Now, Youngblood. I remember when this album came out, and I was kind of disillusioned in Five Sos because, as I said, I didn't really like Sounds Good, Feels Good. So I was just re-listening all Five Sos songs, and I was like looking forward, expecting like the new album was good, but I was also kind of wary because I was like, if I don't like the new album, does that mean I don't like Five Sos anymore? And then Youngblood came out, and I was happy again. I had the hardest time ranking these songs because I love this album. Like, seriously, the ranking just moves around all the time. Like, in self-titled, my top 10 is the one that moves around, but the bottom, like, 13, there are a lot of songs in that album. But the bottom songs kind of stay the same. They all stay in the bottom. And in this one, like, number 16 can be number 5 one day. I just love this album. But yeah, now, for this particular video, we're gonna start with Empty Wallets at number 16. And maybe later in my life, when I'm able to go out, I'll listen to this song more often, because this just gives me vibes of getting ready for a party and not caring that I'm poor as fuck. And yeah, I love this song, but I don't listen to it as often as I listen to all of the other songs in the album because of the situation. And because sometimes whenever I do listen to it, it makes me sad that we're in a Panasonic and I can't go out. Number 15 is Talk Fast. And again, the fact that it's at the bottom doesn't mean that I don't love this song. It's a damn good song. Most of Five Sos songs are good, if we're talking outside of Sounds Good, Feels Good. On number 14, I have Woke Up in Japan, and I don't know, this is one of those songs that can move up way higher for me sometimes. Like, I don't know, I just have to be in a very particular mood to listen to Woke Up in Japan. But whenever I am in that mood and I listen to it, I'll keep re-listening to it until I get tired. So that's why it's slower, because I'll just go on phases of listening to it non-stop until I get tired of it. But I still love it. And I have to stop saying it. I'm sorry. Now, on number 13 is Better Man. And this one is the song that doesn't really move that much for me. It usually stays lower, but I still love it, and I love the message. And yeah, on number 12 I have Monster Among Men, and this one was like my least liked song when I first listened to the album. It grew on me eventually, but it's still like lower on the list because I don't know, I really like the instrumentals and I really like the lyrics. I don't know, it had to grow on me. But when it did, damn, I love it. On number 11 is More, and you're just gonna hear me say I love it for this whole section because I don't have any criticism for any Youngblood song. Like, they're all perfect. I love them. On number 10 I have Meet You There. And again, I don't know what to say. It's just a great song. Please go listen to Youngblood. Just like, don't take my word for it. Go listen to Youngblood. I'm actually going to do it as soon as I finish filming this video because it's made me so happy remembering these songs now. Now, on number 9, I have Want You Back. And I really do love this song, but it's lower because I enjoy other songs more. And I was going to say because it makes me sad, but honestly my number 1 song from this album, it's the one that makes me the saddest. Like, as I said, these songs move around all the time. Want You Back one day could be like in number 3. Number 8 is If These Walls Could Talk, because it's a fun song. And I love the kind of songs that are about, oh, we're doing things that we're not supposed to be doing, or this should be secret. And I don't know, I just love the concept of imagine the stories that these walls have to tell. Number 7 is Why Won't You Love Me? And honestly, if I had made this ranking list on any other point in my life, this song would have probably been number 2. But since I'm trying to be more positive and I'm trying to get happier right now, it's lower on the list because this is a song that I do love, but it makes me way too sad to listen to it that often. I can't. It really makes me cry. Like, I know I'm too sensitive, but this one hits in all of my insecurities. Now, on number 6 is the title song, Youngblood, and I love this song. I just wish the video was them, honestly. Like, it's one of my most listened to songs from this album, and that usually doesn't happen for me with like the main song, because I usually grow tired of those, like, of the main singles, because they're the ones that are playing on the radio all the time. But this one, whenever it comes out on the radio, I turn it up and I love it, and it's such an experience. I love this song. Number 5 is Valentine. And again, if this were any other time of my life, this would be like number 2 or number 3. If I were making this video when I was still in love, this would have probably been number 2. Not number 1, because my number 1 wouldn't change, but number 2. But right now, I don't know. I still love it. I love the video. This is a song that I really love the video. Go watch it right now. Go watch Luke Hemmings with glitter eyelids. Love it. Number 4 is Moving Along. And if you watched my other video, my breakup playlist video, you know what this song is about, kinda. I love listening to it whenever I feel shitty because it's a song about feeling bad, but the music makes me feel better. When the album first came up, I didn't really like it that much, but it really grew on me, especially the drums. Like, the drums are... Now, number 3 is Ghost of You, and it's really sad. It makes me cry, but I love it. What can I do? I do love it, and it's really good. And number 2 is Babylon. This one is like the only not sad song that I have in like my top 5, I guess. I don't know. It's really good. The lyrics are good, the music is good, and like, I don't know what I can say to make you understand how good Babylon is, really. And finally, my number one favorite song from Youngblood that doesn't really change ever is Lie to Me. Let me just say that the Julia Michaels feature of Lie to Me ruined it for me. Like, no shade to Julia Michaels, I just don't really like that as much as I like the Only Five Sus one. And yeah, I just love this song. It breaks my heart, it makes me cry, but I can't do anything about it. Like, just yeah, it's my favorite song. It knocked out Long Way Home, and that's a lot for me to say. But yeah, those are my rankings for Youngblood, and I'm gonna put them right here. Just remember that I really, really love this album so much, and even if a song is at the bottom, that's probably still like I don't know, 7 out of 10. I don't do grades because I suck at grading things. But like, yeah, even Empty Wallets is one of my favorite Five songs. So there's like no actual meaning behind this full ranking. Now, for Calm. I also had a hard time ranking these songs because I also love most of the songs in this album. But unlike with Youngblood, that all of the songs move around the rankings all of the time. But in this one, my lowest two will still be my lowest two at any point in time. And the lower rankings will move around within the lower positions. The top ones can move around and like move up and all of that. But yeah, these ones don't move around as much as with Youngblood. Maybe this would be more comparable to Self-Titled. Still way better than Sounds Good Feels Good. I'm sorry that I keep shading that album. I just really don't like it. And with that said, my number 13 is Old Me and my number 12 is No Shame. And those two songs are very interchangeable for me. Like, sometimes I will like Old Me more than No Shame, and sometimes I will like No Shame more than Old Me, but I will never like any of these two songs more than any of the other songs in the ranking. And Old Me is at the bottom of the ranking at this moment because I haven't really re-listened to it that much, and No Shame I have sometimes. And I know this album just came out last year, and this was like my quarantine album. I listened to it most of quarantine, and I still didn't listen to Old Me that much. Like, I skipped it most of the times. I loved the video. The video is really cute. I loved seeing the young artist play Five Sus. But yeah, no, I have an issue with the kind of songs where artists just reminisce on how far they came. I love those songs because I'm proud of the artist, but I just don't listen to them as much because I'm like, I can't relate. There's no shout out to the old me. The old me can die. I can die. Just kidding. But yeah, and No Shame I just don't like as much. I'm sorry. Now on number 11 is Kill My Time. And I know it wasn't on like the official release, but then they added it to the Spotify album, so it's here. And I like it. I just haven't listened to it that much, or I don't re-listen to it that often, so it's lower on the ranking, but it's a good song still. All of Five songs are good. I'm tired of saying that, except for Sounds Good Feels Good. Number 10 is Easier. And now, if this were Easier straight from the vault, my god, it would be like top 5. I love the lyrics in Easier in general, but the fact that it is not the version straight from the vault just keeps it lower in the ranking right now. But yeah, it's still a pretty good song. Just if you haven't listened to Five Sus and you want to listen to Easier for some reason, go listen to the straight from the vault version, not this one. That one is way better. Now, number 9 is Best Years. And that is because even though it's a really good song and I love it, it just makes me sad at the moment. Like, when the album first came out, it was one of my favorite songs. And it was just like, I'm gonna move on, sorry. Number 8 is Thin White Lines, and this one can be interchangeable with Best Years again. Like, these lower rankings just move around within the lower ranks, as I said. And I don't know, I really like Thin White Lies. I like the energy. I don't like saying the title because for some reason my brain goes immediately to saying Thin White Lines instead of lies. And you know what that represents. Number 7 is Teeth. And I really like that song. I love the guitar on that song. I love the rhythm. I love that it feels more hardcore than the other ones in a way. I just don't like it because it's on the 13 Reasons Why soundtrack. Number 6 is Wildflower. I love that song. I love that video. And yeah, just Wildflower is a very fun song, and I kinda based my makeup on the concept of Wildflower. It's not really that noticeable, but I tried. Now, getting into the top 5. On number 5, we have Red Desert, and another very energetic song. I really love it. It's another song that grew on me. It wasn't my absolute favorite the first time I listened to the album, but it's stuck on my top 5. Well, it could go lower, but like, it's still a very good song. On number 4, I have Not in the Same Way, because I love it. Because I love you, you love me, just not in the same way. And that applies to so many instances of my life. I really identified with that song. On number 3, I have Lover of Mine, and it's such a good song. It's such, I don't know, like, again, the first time I listened to the album, Lover of Mine wasn't even on my top 5, but when I saw a video of Luke singing Lover of Mine to the camera, but we all know that Sierra was behind the camera, I fell in love with the song, and now it's my dream to have someone like think of me when they hear that song, and I don't know, I just really love it. And my number 1 and number 2 are like, I don't know, they're really emotional for me, even if the instrumental and all of that isn't really that slow or emotional. The number 2 is Lonely Heart, and yeah, I do have a lonely heart now. Moving on, number 1 is High, and like, I knew this was going. Hi, I'm really, really, really sorry for the absolute and abrupt drop in quality. I ran into some issues with my phone while I was filming, and yeah, I'm gonna finish this on my webcam. And probably the next few videos are going to be on my webcam too, because I don't know how long it'll take to fix the issues that I had with my phone. And yeah, I know it's weird for the quality to drop like right at the end of the video. Just my phone cut off in a very weird place, and I didn't feel like refilming it all because it's getting late, and I didn't want to wait until another day because I already did my makeup and it turned out fine, okay, and I don't know, I didn't want to do it again. So to continue with what I was saying before my phone completely shut off, I knew that High was going to be one of my favorite songs in the album since before I listened to it, just from the title. And yeah, it's not exactly about getting high, but it still didn't disappoint. Yeah, I don't know. I do struggle a lot with other people's image of me, even if I try not to. And the whole concept of please think of me highly when you're with someone else, just, I don't know, it resonates with me. That's my overall ranking for all of the songs in Calm. I'm gonna put them right here. And just remember that even if a song is at the bottom of this list, that doesn't mean it's a bad song. It just means that right at this moment, I don't like it as much as I like all of the other songs in the album. And that's actually another reason why I didn't want to wait for another day to film this video, because my opinions on the positions of all of these songs, except for Sounds Good, Feels Good, vary daily. So maybe if I waited until tomorrow, I'm gonna disagree with everything that I had already said. So yeah. And now, to close off the video, I want to rank all four albums. And this section isn't going to be surprising or hard at all. At the bottom of the ranking in number four, we have Sounds Good, Feels Good. I just really didn't like the album, especially compared to all of the other albums. Like, this was the period in my life where I thought I was going to stop liking 5 Seconds of Summer. I forced myself to like Sounds Good, Feels Good because I was so in love with Fiveso's music from the self-titled album and their other EPs that I thought I have to like this album because it's 5 Seconds of Summer. And if I don't like this album, then it means that I don't really like 5 Seconds of Summer. But then they came out with Youngblood, and I was like, oh no, it wasn't that I didn't like them. It was just that I didn't like that particular album. And on number three, honestly, these three other albums could all be tied for number one. But if I have to assign them like a place, this is how it would go. On number three is self-titled 5 Seconds of Summer. And not because it's a bad album. It's actually a really good album in my opinion, especially a good first album. And it's just so different from the other two. Like, it sounds very different. So that's why it's on third place, because I like the sound on the other two albums better. And on number two is Calm. And it's not because it's a bad album, it's a really, really good album. It's just because since it came out, I haven't been listening to it as much as I've been listening to Youngblood. I've actually been listening to Youngblood a lot more since Calm came out. So it didn't feel fair to give Calm the first place, even if I really do like it. And even if I really do listen to a lot of the songs in there often, I listen to more songs from Youngblood often. You know what I mean? And now, obviously, in first place, I have Youngblood because I just love this album so much. I don't know how to explain or how to express my love for Youngblood. And yeah, that was my attempt to cheer myself up with a video talking about five sauce. And it kind of worked. I think it did its job. Um, yeah, again, sorry for the drop in quality. Sorry if the next few videos are this quality again. I don't know what to do with my phone, but I'll figure it out. And yeah, I think that's it. Leave a comment if you want. If you're a fan of Five Sauce and you have opinions about my ranking, please let me know. If you disagree with what I think of the albums or the particular songs, let me know. If you agree with my ranking of all four albums, also let me know. I'm just here to hear all of your opinions. And if you're not a fan of Five Sauce, but for some reason you watch this video, go listen to 5 Seconds of Summer, go listen to Youngblood specifically, and then come back and tell me what you thought. Um, and yeah, also consider liking the video if you for some reason liked it and you didn't mind the drop in quality. I'm sorry. And consider subscribing. I promise this will get better. This will get fixed eventually. Um, yeah, that would be all. Thank you so much for riding this train of thought with me. We've reached the last station, so I'm gonna hop down and go dye my hair because that's how I deal with mental breakdowns and my life falling apart. Yay! Alright, bye!